Hey my fellow alchemists, today we are going to synthesize a compound known as tetramminecopper to sulfate. This is a coordination compound, which means the central atom is a metal, in this case copper, and it has other ions or molecules linked to it, known as ligands. In this specific compound, we can see the sulfate ion alongside 4 amine ligands. The main feature of this complex is its striking purple color. Just look at that, it's absolutely beautiful. However, this compound is known to be toxic and poisonous, so we have to be very careful. Beyond its looks, this copper compound is used in the paint and pesticide industries. It is also utilized in scientific research as a starting point for creating nanoparticles. Anyway, for this synthesis we will need copper sulfate, ammonia, and ethanol. Specifically, we need 1 gram of copper sulfate and 30 milliliters of ethanol. The exact quantity of ammonia is a bit hard to determine because it is a highly volatile liquid. This means that over time the concentration of the ammonia inside the bottle will gradually decrease. I don't know the exact concentration of this specific bottle because I bought it about a year ago and I haven't used it in a long time, but that's not going to be a problem. The first step is to dissolve the copper sulfate into 10 milliliters of water. It needs to be completely dissolved. Since this compound is highly soluble in water, we won't have any trouble doing this. Once the copper sulfate is dissolved, we just need to add the ammonia to the solution. We have to add it little by little. In this case, I am using a syringe to slowly pour the ammonia. Initially, you can see a blue precipitate starting to form in the solution. This is copper hydroxide, but as we continue adding ammonia, the precipitate disappears, and instead the solution takes on the beautiful purple color of our target copper compound. There are actually 2 chemical reactions happening here in our solution. First, the copper sulfate reacts with the ammonia and water to form a precipitate of copper hydroxide and ammonium sulfate, which is soluble in water. But then, as we gradually add more ammonia, a second chemical reaction occurs. The copper hydroxide reacts with the ammonium sulfate and the excess ammonia to form the tetramminecopper to sulfate complex. This is the exact reason why a precipitate appears first and then disappears. It's important to note that the moment we see the solution change to a deep purple and the precipitate completely disappears, we must stop adding ammonia. In my case, I used 6 milliliters of ammonia to finish the reaction. When the reaction is complete, we just need to pour 30 milliliters of ethanol into the solution. By doing this, we decrease the overall polarity of the solution, which forces the copper compound to precipitate out. The reason behind this is that our complex is highly soluble in polar solvents like water. But when we drop that polarity with ethanol, it crashes right out of the solution. Now, we just have to wait around 8 hours or a full day to let the complex fully precipitate. Just look at that color, it's amazing. Once the time has passed, we just filter the solution to collect our copper compound and let it air dry for a bit. It is highly recommended not to heat it to dry it, because this compound will eventually decompose under heat. And here is our final result. We need to store this compound in an airtight container to avoid any decomposition. And well, that's all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment, and hit that like button for more alchemy, I mean chemistry.